Hey, I'm Ollie, a designer and developer from the UK, and compared to most gamers, I spend a lot more time thinking about things like interfaces and behavioral mechanics in games. Super exciting stuff, I know. This is a video about the progression system in the finals. Context is important here, so I'm going to ramble a little before I share the designs I've been working on. You can skip to the visuals using timestamps below, but I'd recommend watching the whole video so that we can talk about this in more detail. The finals is still a new game, with a lot of room to mature and grow. This is a good thing. It means Embark are still learning about what their players enjoy, and we have the opportunity as players to celebrate them when they hit the mark, or provide feedback when they don't. Ultimately, we all want the game to succeed, and I believe they've done a great job so far. I say this because as individuals, our opinions aren't very helpful, but as a community, our collective sentiment is highly valuable. By sharing our ideas and hopes for the game in a friendly way that welcomes more opinions to join in, we help Embark to build a better game that we continue to enjoy. The competitive FPS market is huge, but 6 months in, and I'm still not entirely sure which games the finals is competing with. This makes it hard to compare the finals against other games. What should it be doing more or less of? What does it do well, and what could it improve on? What are other games doing that players enjoy? Having a basis for comparison is a good thing for us to start a discussion and for new players to understand what they're missing out on. Personally, I find myself having more fun in the finals over other mainstream titles like Call of Duty, or even competitive PC titles like CSGO and Valorant. If you're watching this video, the chances are you agree. However, the numbers show that there is a lot of ground to cover before the finals is truly competing with other FPS titles. If we want a healthy player base, short queue times, ongoing support, new features, and so on, the size and relevance of the player base are important details to consider. And none of this changes overnight. Unless, of course, you're Apex Legends and launch a polished game out of nowhere. All of this thinking has led me to explore the reasons why new FPS games often struggle to compete with the entrenched mainstream titles. Age of the game. Many successful games have built their player base over many years. The finals is still a new game, and there is still a lot of people who haven't even tried it yet. Stability of the meta. Successful games have stabilized and now update incrementally in small updates. New games like the finals fluctuate a lot early on, as players learn how to abuse the mechanics and developers experiment with balancing. This is still where we are now with the game. Positive feedback loops, or in other words, dopamine machines. Successful games have many ways to experience success and excitement beyond the core gameplay loop. New games like the finals focus on the core gameplay first, which finally leads me to the subject of this video. It's logical to think that most competitive titles have a built-in feedback loop. You get kills, you win games, rinse and repeat. However, modern multiplayer games have raised the bar to provide more types of rewards at a much higher frequency. Unlocking guns, leveling up, infinitely in some cases, unlocking camos, and much more that I'm sure you've experienced. The finals have already improved on this significantly in Season 2 with features like the career circuit. However, I believe this is going to be one of the primary factors in maintaining a larger player base into the future. Now, I'm reading off a script here, but I wanted to add something in that I forgot to include, because the finals does have some things like unlocking things throughout the progression system, but that has a fairly quick endpoint. And so for players who enjoy this game and have put in more than like 15, 20 hours, that a lot of those run out and expire. And what I'm referring to here is progression systems that are fairly renewable, things that repeat each season maybe, or things that have an infinitely scaling system, which is much harder to implement. And so I just wanted to clarify that they're the kinds of things I'm referring to here. So, as I was saying, a larger player base is a good thing if we want the game to succeed and grow. Positive feedback loops come in many forms. In this video, I'm going to focus specifically on progression systems. And I just want to make a quick thanks to Thixie for his video that gave some shape to my ideas at the perfect time. Meaning, like, I was thinking a lot about these concepts, and then his video gave some shape to how these could manifest themselves in the game. So I'll link a video to where he spoke about the expectations that he had for the world building and in-game sponsors. I took these ideas and ran with them to create mock-ups for a progression system that I believe would leverage the in-game universe to provide new opportunities for positive feedback and features that maintain a player's interest levels. Welcome to a future hypothetical season of the finals where I'm in charge. You've been playing well, and sponsors have noticed you. They want to get in on the ground floor and work with you as you build your career in the arena. This season, Holto and Osbus are exclusive partners of the finals. They want to work with you for additional brand exposure. Each will provide weekly contracts for seasonal branded rewards. Who are you going to sign with? With 6 contestants in your roster, each of them can sign to a different sponsor for the season. Each of them can contribute towards your sponsorship contracts and earn their respective sponsor rewards. Seasonal sponsorships are like mini battle passes. They operate much like the current career circuit with weekly contracts. The difference here is the storytelling and the inclusion of sponsors and multiple progression features. Each contestant represents one sponsor at a time in-game and on seasonal leaderboards. Sponsors maintain these seasonal leaderboards to show off their signed contestants. You can browse sponsors from previous seasons and explore their leaderboards and events. If you didn't play in a past season, you could purchase the sponsorship contract to earn the rewards. Sponsorships aren't just for show, though clearly that's an important part of it. Seasonal sponsors clash in weekly events over advertising rights for banners in-game. This week, Holto came out on top. They're now featured on dynamic banners in each arena until next week's event. Naturally, Holto will want to show off any players in the current match who represent them. When you leave these games, you now see how it impacted your reputation. Your rep is what you're becoming known for in the arena: support, combat, objective, and team play. The support, combat, and objective graphic shows how you've contributed to your team over the last 30 games. It gives a bird's eye view of your contribution to your team's effort. Additionally, the team play score represents how much other contestants enjoy competing with you, based on a post-match rating system. Your seasonal sponsor wants you to complete contracts, but they also want you to grow your fandom to reach more people. You do this by climbing the divisions in Ranked. This is the first time you've played Ranked this season. Your fans have gathered for your pre-season interview, and Scotty doesn't shy away from roasting you on the lack of attendance. As you play games, you gain fans, both from your individual performance as well as the outcome from each match. As you transition into a new division, your sponsor wants to capitalize on this with a press conference. Each time you climb, you see your fandom grow. I could work on this a lot more. I've got so many more ideas for features and ways to play with the sponsors in the game. However, at the end of the day, I'm not Embark. I don't work on this game, so everything I create here is just a tool for communicating ideas. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it's all about starting a conversation and getting more people to contribute. That's why I'd love to pass this back to the community, where I'm sure several people will remix my ideas or tell me parts of this that won't work, and I would enjoy to see both sides of that coin. I'd definitely love to return to this project when some of those ideas have surfaced or when people have expressed ways to refine my ideas. So please do share your thoughts below. And if you want to continue this discussion yourself, I've included all of the images from my mockups, which you're welcome to use in your videos or designs, but please do link back to this video. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the arena.